everybody, and welcome to the channel. We got some Milwaukee Braves baseball here on August 19th, 1961. We got the Philadelphia Phillies traveling to Milwaukee to take on the Braves. We got leading off for the Phillies playing second base is Tony Taylor. Batting second playing left field is Johnny Callison. Batting third playing center field, Tony Gonzalez. Batting fourth playing first base is Don Detmer. Batting fifth playing right field is Wes Covington. Batting sixth playing third base is Lee Walls. Batting seventh doing the catching is Clay Dalrymple. Batting eighth playing shortstop is Bobby Malcolmus. And on the mound, doing the pitching, batting ninth for the Phillies is Frank Sullivan. And he says it's going to be a really big show. And for the Braves, leading off, playing right field's Lee May. Batting second, playing second's Frank Bowen. Batting third, playing third's Eddie Matthews. Batting fourth, playing center field's Hank Aaron. Batting fifth, playing first base is Joe Adcock. Batting sixth, playing left field is Frank Thomas. Batting seventh, playing doing the catching's Joe Torre. Batting eighth, playing shortstop's Roy McMillan. And batting ninth and doing the pitching for the Milwaukee Braves is Tony Cloninger. Let's get down here to Milwaukee and get this game started, folks. And Tony on the year is got a 3.87 ERA, seventh start of the season. He's 3-1. And first up against him's Tony Taylor. He's batting .264 on the year, folks. And that's going to be a base on balls, not the way you want to start this game as a Brave. So right away, you got the leadoff runner aboard. That brings up Johnny Callison. Johnny's batting .230 on the year with 4 home runs, 18 RBIs. And he gets a hold of this one, folks. And he drives that ball into the gap and down the first baseline, rather, in the right field. And we got first and third and nobody out, folks. And on a 2-0 count, Collison's off and running. It's a 2-0 pitch. And here's the throw down the second by Mr. Joe Torre. And it's a strike. And there's going to be a strike down the second. Not good enough. Callison's in there with a stolen base, folks. And all of a sudden, we got second and third and nobody out. The Braves will play back. They'll give up a run here to get an out. Tony Gonzalez is up, hitting .343 on the year, 12 home runs and 50 RBIs. And that's going to be hit down to the second. Frank Boland's up with it. He fires the first. That'll be an out, but 1 run will score. Now we got a runner on third, 1 out. Don Detmer's up, hitting .249 on the year, 17 home runs, 48 RBIs. And that's a big swing and a miss, strike 3. Tony needed that one, folks. 2 outs now and a runner down at third. If the Braves can get out of this with only 1 run, they'll be happy. Wes Covington's up, hitting .326, 4 home runs, 14 RBIs. And he pops this one straight up the chute. Well, no, sorry, that's a foul ball in the left field. And McMillan races over and makes the catch. And that'll do it. They had second and third and nobody out and only get 1 run. Braves are lucky, I think, to get out of that with 1 run. We go to the bottom of the first. You got May, Boland, and Matthews due up against Frank Sullivan. He's got a 4.83 ERA. This is his 15th start of the year. He's 7-8. And he's got 2 complete games and he's got 2 saves on the year, folks. And here's the pitch to Lee May, hitting .232, 12 home runs, 29 RBIs. And that's going to be a fly ball out to West Covington for out number 1. That'll bring up Frank Bolin now with nobody on. Batting .284 on the year with 15 home runs, 60 RBIs. And Frank gets a base hit in the center field. Nice piece of hitting, goes right up the middle with it. He gets on for the big boys. Chance for the Braves to get right back in and tie this game up now, folks. With Matthews up, hitting .295, 23 home runs, 84 RBIs. And that's going to be a base on balls. And all of a sudden, the Braves are making some noise in their half of the first. First and second and 1 out for the Hammer, Henry, Hank, Aaron. See if the Hammer can come through here. Batting .300 on the year, 23 home runs, 81 RBIs. Here's the pitch to the Hammer. And they don't want to pitch to him. All of a sudden, Sullivan can't find the strike zone, folks. That fills the bases. We got bases juice now for Joe Adcock. Joe hitting .276 on the year, 23 home runs himself, and 76 RBIs. Can Joe blast this game open and give the Braves a lead here, folks? And that's going to be a fly ball in the left field. And Matthews and Bolin's going to advance, and that's going to tie this ball game up, folks. That was deep enough to get the runners over from third and second, rather. So we got a runner down at first and third with 2 outs now. And we remember what Frank Thomas did the last game against the Phils. Let's see if he can keep it up. He's gotten that batting average up to .256 all of a sudden. 22 home runs on the year, 67 RBIs. And he's a hitting machine, folks. He drives that ball in the ground. And it makes it through in the left field. And Hank Aaron will end up at third. And the Braves now got the lead, folks. And first and third, and still 2 outs. It's 2-1 Milwaukee. Like I say, Frank Thomas is starting to heat up. The Braves need him. Joe Torres needs to start heating up too. Joe comes up batting only .242, 6 home runs, 30 RBIs. And that's going to be a swing and a miss, strike 3. And they'll leave runners on at the corners. But the Braves score 2 and take a 2-1 lead as we go to the top of the second. So Tony comes out and now has the lead. Went into the dugout behind by 1. He's got Walls, Dalrymple, and McManus due up here. Lee's hitting .260, 2 home runs, 20 RBIs on the year. Here's the pitch to Lee Walls, and he squares this one up. Tony still hasn't figured it out yet, folks. And that ball is driven in the left center field. It's rolling around out there. He's making a turn from second, headed for third, and Lee Walls is in there with a triple, a leadoff triple, folks. The Braves this time are going to play the infield in after getting the lead. They don't want to give it up right away. Clay's batting only .206 with 1 home run and 19 RBI, excuse me. And that's going to be a base hit in the center field, and that's going to score Lee Walls. And just like that, the Phillies come back and tie this ball game up, folks. Still nobody out in the second inning. You got Dalrymple down there, not much speed. Can they get a ground ball out of Bobby and get a double play? Hey, Ken. Yeah, let's try this again. This looks like this is going to be a wild game. Alrighty, 2-2, nobody out. Yeah, these pitchers sure don't have this one figured out. So here's the pitch to Bobby. And that's going to be a swing and a miss, strike 3. Another big strikeout there by Tony. He got 1 in the first to get out of a jam. So that's the first out of the game. And Frank Sullivan's up. He's going to try to bunt him over to second, folks, with 1 out. Here's the pitch to Frank. And that's going to be a pass ball. And a runner's going to end up down at second. And they're going to take the bunt off now. They're going to let Frank swing away here on the 1-0 count with Dalrymple down in scoring position now. And that's going to be a ground ball back to the mound, no, down the first rather. Adcock's up with it. He tosses it over to the Tony covering. The runner will end up down at third, but now there's 2 outs. That'll bring up Tony Taylor. He started this game off with a walk and came around to score in the first. And that's going to be a swing and a miss, strike 3. Tony with 3 big strikeouts today. But the Phillies score 1 and tie this ball game up, folks. We go to the bottom of the second. We got the bottom part of the order due up here. McMillan, Cloninger, and May back to the top of the order. Roy hitting .209 with 6 home runs, 41 RBIs. Can he get on base here against Frank? No, that's going to be a swing and a miss, strike 1. And that's the second strikeout for Sullivan. That brings up Tony now. Tony's only hitting .091 on the year. He's 1 for 11. Here's the pitch to Tony. And that's an easy ground ball down the short. 2 up and 2 down. We go back to the top of the order, and Lee May. It's up to him to keep this inning going. He flew out to right his first time up. And that's going to be a base hit in the left field. So Lee gets aboard here, folks, with a 2-out single. Brings up Frank Bolin. Can he keep this inning going and get to the big boys here, folks? He singled his first time up and came around to score. And that's going to be a base on balls. All of a sudden now Sullivan, just like he did in the first inning, he's having control problems. And that brings up the big boys. Matthews is up now with runners on first and second. May down at second with good speed. Base hit will score him and give the Braves the lead. Matthews walked his first time up and came around to score. And not this time, folks. That's going to be that's an infield fly down the second base. Taylor calls for it, makes the catch out near second base, and that'll do it. The Braves strand 2. We're still tied at 2 apiece. So we go to the top of the third. We got Callis and Gonzalez and Detmer due up here against Tony. Johnny's 1 for 1 with a stolen base. And that's going to be an easy ground ball down to McMillan. He fires over to Adcock for that first out. Here comes Tony Gonzalez. He reached on a, well, he didn't reach. He grounded into a fielder's into a 4-3 play and got an RBI out of it. And that's going to be a ground ball down the first. Joe Adcock's up with it. He tosses it over to Tony covering. That'll be 2 outs here. Here comes Don Detmer up now. He struck out his first time up. And he's going to walk this time, so Tony can't have a 1-2-3 inning, folks. That's what we was hoping for here. That brings up Wes Covington. Wes, ever since he's joined these Phillies, has been hitting machine, hitting .322. 4 home runs, like I say, and 14 RBIs. He's played pretty well when he's with the Braves. Here's the pitch to West, and that's going to be a ground ball down the second base. Frank Bolin tosses it over to McMillan, and that'll end the inning. The Phillies leave 1 on. We go to the bottom of the third. Still 2 apiece. We got the big boys due up here. You got Aaron Adcock, and now the hot-hitting Frank Thomas. Hank walked his first time up. Let's see what happens now. And that's going to be an easy ground ball to Lee Walls. 1 up, 1 down. Hey, Legends. Okay, bud, you have a good one. And that'll bring up Joe Adcock. He had a sacrifice fly his first time up. And that's going to be a swing and a miss, strike 3. 2 up and 2 down. And if you're a Phillies fan, that's what you want to see. Frank Thomas up with nobody on, because he had a single and an RBI his first time up, folks. And that's a base hit in the center field. Frank Thomas, now all of a sudden, he's not missing anything, folks. He's driving that ball everywhere. And that's a base hit. Frank Thomas down at first. And this is the man needs to get hot, too. Joe Torre, he struck out his first time up. And he strikes out this time, folks. A swing and a miss. Here soon these guys are going to stop pitching to Frank, with Joe not hitting behind him. So we go to the top of the fourth. We got Walls, Dalrymple, and Malcolmus due up. See what Lee can do. He tripled his first time up and came in to score. And that's going to be an easy fly for Lee May. He's out in right field today. One down. And old Clay, he is 1 for 1 with an RBI single. And that's going to be popped up to shoot. Joe Torre, he might not be hitting, but he's a darn good fielding catcher. He makes that play. And that'll be 2 outs. Let's see if Tony can get a 1-2-3 inning. He struck Bobby out his first time up. And that's going to be a lazy fly ball out the right. 1-2-3 goes to Fields. We go to the bottom of the fourth. Bottom part of the orders due up. McMillan, Collinger, and then back to Lee May. Excuse me. Let me take a drink here. All righty. Max 0 for 1. He struck out. And that Phillies defense has a lot to be desired. That ball is hit down the short. He muffs that one. He's not going to compound it by throwing it away. But McMillan safe on the E6 down at first. Tony looks like he's going to square and bunt and try to get him over in scoring position. Here's the pitch. And that's going to be a poorly bunted ball out in front of the plate. Clay's up with it. He's going to fire down the Bobby at short over to first. And they get the double play, folks. The 2-6-4 double play. And it's 2 outs now and nobody on for Lee May. So all of a sudden now, after giving up that walk, Lee May's up. Nobody on. He singled his last time up. And he's going to single again, folks. Nice base hit in the center field. Gonzalez come running in, but he has to play it on the bounce. So Lee May's having a darn good game. See if Frank Bowling can get to the big boys. He had a walk his last time up. He's 1 for 1. Here's the pitch to Bowling. And that's going to be a fly ball out to Tony. He comes running in this time, makes the catch. And Lee May stranded at first. We go to the top of the fifth. What I thought was going to be a wild game is settled down. We got Sullivan due up. Then Taylor and Callison. Frank is 0 for 1. Grounded out to first his first time up. And that's going to be a swing and a miss, strike 3. 4th strikeout for Tony. And that brings up the top of the order in Tony Taylor. It's the battle of the Tonys. He's going to win this one, folks. And it's going to be Cloninger, because that's his 5th strikeout. Back-to-back strikeouts. Can he strike the side out, folks, and get to the bottom of the 5th? Johnny's 1 for 2 with a stolen base. Grounded out to short his other time up. And that's a base on balls. And that puts the go-ahead run down at first. Not what you want. Make them earn it. Here comes Gonzalez now. And he's 0 for 2. He does have an RBI, though. Grounded out to second, grounded out to first. And that's going to be a ground ball down to first. Joe Adcock's going to take it himself. And that'll end the inning, folks. And again, Phillies leave 1 on, and we go to the bottom of the 5th. Philadelphia 2, Milwaukee 2. Matthews, Aaron, and Adcock. See if they can get something going here, folks. Eddie's 0 for 1 walked and popped up to second. And that's going to be a fly ball in the center field. Gonzalez had him played almost perfect. 1 out. See if Hank can get something going here. He is 0 for 1 with a walk. And that's going to be an easy ground ball down the walls. He fires across the diamond. Now it's 2 outs and Joe Adcock's up. See if Joe can keep this inning alive and get Frank up. He has a sacrifice fly and he struck out. And that's going to be hit down to Bobby at short. And that's a 1-2-3 inning for the Braves. We go to the top of the 6th. We got Detmer, Covington, and Walls due up here. Face Tony. Don's 0 for 1, struck out and walked his last time up. And that's going to be a base hit in the center field. So the go-ahead runs down at first. Nobody out for Wes Covington. Not who you really want up here if you're a Braves fan. He's 0 for 2, though. See if they can get a ground ball and get out of this mess. And that's just what the doctor ordered, folks. That ball was hit down to Frank Boland. Taylor made. Over to McMillan. Over to Joe Adcock. 4-6-3 double play. Erases the base runner. Now 2 outs and nobody on for Lee Walls, who tripled his first time up, folks, and came in to score. And that's not good for the Braves. That's hit down the second after making a nice play. Frank muffs this one up, folks. That's an E4. Gives the Phillies an extra out. See if they make the Braves play for it. Clay's 1 for 2 with an RBI single. Here's the pitch to Clay. And that is hit down the short. McMillan up with it. Tosses it over the second. That'll end the inning, so the error doesn't cause any damage, folks. We go to the bottom of the 6th. It's still 2 apiece. Here comes the man, Frank Thomas, followed by Torrey and McMillan. He's 2 for 2 today, 2 singles. Here's the pitch to Frank. And he's going to be 3 for 3. Another well-hit ball that drops in there for a base hit. Frank standing down at first. And Joe Torrey needs to back him up, folks. He is 0 for 2 with 2 strikeouts. Here's the pitch to Joe. And that's not what you want to see. That's going to be a ground ball down the second. Can they turn 2? Over to Taylor, but it wasn't a Taylor-made double play. Bobby gets the ball. He holds on to it. Doesn't even bother throwing. Torrey's safe down at first. 1 out now for McMillan. He's reached on an error and struck out. And they walk McMillan. So Roy walks on down the first. Joe goes down the second. And here is the question. Do we pitch hit here for Tony in the 6th? We haven't gotten no offense, but he has settled down since the 2nd inning. I say we pitch hit for him. We try to get a run in here, folks. He's going to come out here and pitch hit. That is the question. Sullivan's due to bat 2nd in the game in the 7th inning. So let's see here. They're going to bring off the bench here. I think it's going to be Mac Jones is coming off the bench. See if Mac the Knife can do some damage here. So we got 1st and 2nd and 1 out for Jones. Jones is hitting 280 on this year, folks. He's got 6 RBIs. Can he add to it? Here's the pitch to Mac. And no, that's a swing and a miss, strike 3. That's going to be 2 outs. He's going to leave it up to Lee May. And Lee May's having a good game, folks. Let's see if he can come through here with 2 outs. He's 2 for 3. He singled his last 2 times up. Can he do it again? And no, that's a swing and a miss. Sullivan comes back after getting runner in scoring position and gets out of the mess. We go to the top of the 7th, and he's going to come out of the bullpen for the Bravos. I think Don Notebert is going to come out here. The pitch. Don comes out of the pen. And he'll be facing Bobby. Then a pitch hitter for Sullivan, and then Tony Taylor. So Bobby's 0 for 2, struck out and flew out to Lee May. Don comes in the game with a 2.86 ERA. He's 6-5, and he's got 1 save on the year, but that one's squared up by Bobby. Welcome to the game, he says. He drives that ball into the gap. And right over third base. And he's going to run down the second with an easy double. So the tying runs down at second. We'll have a pitch hitter here for Sullivan. Like I say, after a rough first inning, he came back and pitched a heck of a game. So let's see who's going to come off the bench here. Really don't have a lefty on the bench, do they? All they got's old Elmer. I guess that's who's going to come out here. Old Elmer's going to come out and try to give them the lead here with nobody out. The only lefty they got. Elmer's hitting .500 in his brief stint here with the Phils. He is 3 for 6. He's got RBI. Can he get his second one of the year, folks? And I believe he's going to. That's going to be a ground ball down the third. Nice play by Matthews. Robs him of a hit. The runner will get down the third now. So we got a runner down at third, 1 out. That'll bring the infield in. We're back to the top of the order, and Taylor. And Tony's 0 for 2 with a walk. He struck out his last 2 times. Don would like to get another one of those here. And now that's going to be a fly ball in the left field. Is that deep enough to score the run? And yes, it is. So the Phillies take the lead on a sacrifice fly. It's now 3-2. 2 outs and nobody on. That'll bring up Johnny Callison. He's 1 for 2 today with a walk and a stolen base. And that's going to be a base hit in the center field. Phillies ain't done yet, they said. So now you got 2 outs and Johnny down at first for Mr. Gonzalez, who's 0 for 3 with an RBI. He's grounded out the first twice, grounded out the second his other time up. And that's going to be hit back to the mound. No, it's not. It's going to be a swing and a miss. Don gets the strikeout, but not until the Phillies take a 1-0 lead as we, 3-2 lead as we go to the 7th inning stretch. Let's see who's going to come out here. You got the righty, lefty, righty for the Phils here. Excuse me. I don't know if they want to bring Lehman in. I think that's who they're going to bring in. I think they're going to bring Lehman in. Ken's going to come in here. He'll face Frank Boland, then the lefty and Matthews, and then Aaron here in the bottom of the 7th. So Frank's having a decent game. He's 1 for 2 with a walk. He did fly out the centers last time up. And that's going to be a fly ball in the right field this time. So that'll be the first out. Lehman comes in with a 4.34 ERA. He's 4 and 3. He does have 4 saves on the year. And now it brings up Mr. Eddie Matthews. Eddie's 0 for 2 with a walk. See if he can get on this time, get the tying run aboard, winning run at the plate. And he does. He lifts that ball into center field. Nice piece of hitting by Matthews. So we got the tying run down at first. Matthews got good speed. And we got the guy you want up if you're a Braves fan, Hank Aaron. He's grounded out the third and he's walked. See if he can do something here for the Braves. And that is going to be a base hit in the center field. Matthews will stop at second, so back-to-back base hits. So we got first and second, the tying run in scoring position for Joe Adcock. Joe's 0 for 2 with a sacrifice fly. Braves need a big hit here. A double probably puts the Braves in the lead. And poor defense of the Phillies is going to let them down here, folks. That's a ground ball down the third. And Walls airmails this into the stands. That's an E5. That's a 2-base error. And that's going to score a run. And we're going to have first and third and 1 out in a tie ball game. Jeez, you beats. Lehman shaking his head out there. Thought it might have been a double play. And that brings up the man you don't want to face. And if Ken's in the house, I'll see if he wants to walk Frank Thomas. He's 3 for 3 with an RBI. And he's been smoking hot. And Joe Torre hasn't done squat. That gives you a force out if you want to bring the infield in and maybe get a double play. See what Ken wants to do if he wants to walk Frank. Ken's still in here. Right now we got first and third. Like I say, I'm thinking about walking old Frank. Ken says pitch to him. You want the infield in or back for the double play? You don't have much speed. Adcock and Thomas, you might get a double play. See what Ken wants to do with the infield here. All right, the Phillies are going to play back for the double play. Here's the pitch to Frank, and he come through again, folks. Not this time. It's going to be a fly ball in the right field, and it's not very deep, and the runners are going to hold. So there's 2 outs now for Joe Torre. Here's Joe's chance, man. Joe has been in a bad way. Needs this. Struck out twice and reached on a fielder's choice, and that average is below 240. So here's the pitch to Joe. Can he come out of this game as a hero? And that's going to be a runner on first. Ain't going to try stealing second. Adcock's not going to do that with 2 outs. So that's going to be strike 1 on Torre. Here's the 0-1 pitch. And he gets a hold of this one, folks. Joe Torre finally comes through for the Braves. And he blasts that ball over the right field fence. 3-run homer, Joe Torre. How about that? And just like that, the Braves are up 6-3. Crowd saying about time. About time for Joe. Max up now. He's 0 for 2 with a base on balls. Yeah, he's overdue, Ken. He needs to start getting hot like Frank. That's why I would have walked him. You was pretty smart not to walk him. I'd have walked old Frank. Max up now. Let's see what he can do with nobody on and 2 outs. And that's going to be a fly ball. It's going to drop in there. Collison comes over, cuts it off, keeps Mac at a single. And that's going to be it for Don. We're going to pitch hit for him. And let's see here. I think they're going to go with Felix the Cat's going to come off the bench here. There's Felix. He's going to come off the bench. And let's see here. I think the Phillies might make a pitching move here. When's the pitcher due up? It's ways down the lineup. See who they're going to bring in here. And you got 3 guys in the bullpen. 2 righties. That's Green and I don't think we want to bring in Green either. Sure. Those boys, they pitched a lot of innings yesterday. Sure. Green went 4 innings. Jack went 3. Sure. That was the problem with that Shalaki. They're going to bring Jack in. He only faced 12 batters. So Jack's going to come in the game here. As Lehman can't get out of the inning here. And he's got Felix up here pitch hitting with McMillan down at first. The Cats only batting 136 on the year with 7 RBIs. And that's going to be an easy ground ball down to Taylor. He'll throw over to first. And that'll end the inning, folks. But the Braves score 4, 3 of them on the Joe Torre home run. And we go to the top of the 8th. And they're going to bring out Don here to try to get the save, a 2-inning save. Up by 3. Hold on, where are you at? There you are. When was the last time he pitched? He had a 2-inning, pitched him 2 innings last game too, didn't I? Maybe we won't pitch him 2 innings. Maybe we'll go with Bob for an inning here. And only pitch Don 1 inning. That's what we're going to do. Since he pitched 2 innings the day before, Bob Henley will come in and try to get us through the 8th inning here. So you got Detmer due up, followed by Covington and then Walls. So here's the pitch to Don. He's 1 for 2 with a walk. He did get a single his last time up. And he gets a hold of this one off of Bob Henley. And that ball is ripped in the right field. Lee May gets over, cuts it off. And being down by 3, he's not going to chance it. He'll stop at first with a single here to lead off the 8th for West Covington. His run means nothing. So West is 0 for 3. Popped up, reached on the fielder's choice and hit into a double play. And that's going to be hit down the second. And is that going to be able to be turned into a double play? Frank Boland's up with it. He fires over to Mill. He fires over to Adcock, but not quite enough time. That was too slow of a roller. Nice try, though. That brings up Lee Walls, who's tripled in this game and came around the score way back in the first. And that's what the Braves was looking for. Right to McMillan. Over to Frank. Over to Joe. 6-4-3. Inning double play. And we go to the bottom of the eighth. It's 6-3 Braves. Top of the order due up. May, Bolin, and Matthews. Lee's 2 for 4. Has a darn good game. Struck out and flew out his other 2 times up. And that's going to be a base hit in the center field. Lee May is becoming a hit machine here today. Top of the order getting on for the guys. Here's Frank Bolin, who's also not doing bad today. He's 1 for 3 with a walk. Here's the pitch to Frank. And that's going to be a fly ball. Gonzalez can get to this one. It hangs up enough. That'll be 1 out. That'll bring up Mr. Matthews. Eddie is 1 for 3 on the day with a walk. He scored twice. And that's going to be hit down the third. Can they go around the horn? No, Walsh doesn't even throw down the second. He fires across the first, gets the shore out. May ends up down at second. Mr. Hank Aaron. Hank's 1 for 3 with a walk. He scored once. And that's going to be a strike. I'm out. And Aaron goes down swinging, and that ends the inning. And that brings us to the top of the 9th. And we are going to bring in Don here in the 9th inning. Henley got us through the 8th. Don's going to come in here and try to slam the door here in the 9th. He'll have Dalrymple, Malcolmus, and a pitch hitter for Jack. Clay's 1 for 3 with an RBI. That was back in the 2nd inning. Here's the pitch to Clay. And that's going to be a swing and a miss, strike 3. 1 down here in the 9th. Here comes Bobby. Bobby's 1 for 3 with a double. That was his last time up. Came around to score in the 7th. At the time, it gave the Phillies the lead, and he takes a base on balls. Now, here we go. Don's going to try to make this game interesting, it looks like. That'll be it for Jack. We go to the bench here. Who are they going to bring out? They don't have any more lefties out here. Really ain't got a lot of pop on the bench either. I look at either Poncho or Charlie Smith. Be the 2 guys I'd be looking at. I think they're going to go with Poncho. Oh, Poncho's going to come off the bench here. Oh, Poncho. Where's Poncho at? There he is. So here comes Pancho Herrera. He's going to come off the bench with a runner down at first. 1 out. Braves would love a ground ball here and get a double play. Pancho's hitting .254 in the year, folks. He's got 8 home runs, 41 RBIs. Here's the pitch to him. And he gets a hold of it, folks. This game ain't over yet. And that ball is high. That ball is far. That ball is going. It's a 1-run game, 1-run lead here all of a sudden. Darn. Poncho with a pitch hit home run. His 9th of the year, folks. And his 43rd home RBI. Sure. Just like that, it's 6-5. Back to the top of the order now. Braves are moving. That's a rally killer home run. We've got Tony up. He's 0 for 2. He's walked and driven in a run. He struck out the other 2 times up, though. See if Don can get a strikeout here. His only out so far has been that leadoff strikeout. And that's going to be a ground ball down the short. And Max up with it. He fires over the first. And that's 2 outs. And here comes Johnny Callison. He's 2 for 3, folks, with a walk and a stolen base. Might not be who you want to face here if you're Don, but here's the pitch to Johnny. And that's going to be a pop-up on the infield. Matthew says he's got it out near the grass, makes the catch, and that ends the ball game. What a nice game that was. The Phillies fighting Phillies came back, made it interesting in the 9th. Let's take a look at the box score. Yeah, it was a good call bringing in old Poncho, wasn't it? Sure. So Don, as he does sometimes, makes that game interesting with those walks. Whoa, what happened here? That was a pop-up. That's what happened. I undid it. That was a pop-up to third. Okay, hit the wrong button. There we go. Now hit the right button. There we go. Take a look at the box score here. The Phillies 5 runs on 8 hits and 2 errors. The Braves 6 runs on 11 hits and an error. Old Callison was 2 for 4. Old Don Detmer, he was 2 for 3. Phillies were 1 for 6 with runners in scoring position, folks. And the old big home run by Poncho sure almost brought the Phillies back. They left 6 men on base. Lee May was 3 for 5. Never came around to score, though. That's amazing. Frank Boland was 1 for 4. Matthews was 1 for 4. Aaron 1 for 4. But the man of the hour was Mr. Frank Thomas. And then finally doing something, Joe Torres with that 3-run homer to give the Braves a 6-3 lead, folks. How about that? The Braves were 3 for 8 with runners in scoring position. They left 10 men on base. Old Frank came out and didn't have a good first inning, but he settled down. 6 innings, 6 hits. Both runs were scored in the first. Oh, you're welcome, Ken. Thank you for helping out. I enjoy doing that. 4 walks and 6 strikeouts. Like I said, Sullivan, after that rough first inning, settled down, pitched a heck of a game. And old Lehman comes in, pitches 2/3 of an inning, gives up 4 hits. All 4 runs were unearned. The Phillies defense let him down. And he gives up the 3-run homer to Joe Torre. Balsham comes in, pitches an inning of the third. Does a good job. 1 hit, struck out 1. Gave the Phillies a chance, and they almost did it. Tony goes 6 innings, gets a no decision, 4 runs on 2 hits, walked 3, struck out 5. And again, he settled down after the second. Old Don comes in and gets the win and didn't pitch very well. Pitched an inning, gave up 2 hits and a run, and struck out 1, but he gets the win. Bottom Henley comes in the 8th, gets his first hold of the year, pitches 1 inning, pitched great, 1 hit. Probably should have left him in because Don comes in, gets his 28th save of the year, but it wasn't easy. He gives up a hit, 2 runs, walked 1, struck out 1 in the big home run to Poncho. And that's your ball game. Let's see here. We got, 3 National League games. We got the Pirates going to Chicago to take on the Cubbies. See what happens here. and the wind must have been blowing out. The Pirates 8 runs on 13 hits in an error. The Cubbies 6 runs on 10 hits and no errors. And the Groat, old Dick Groat, 3 for 5 with a home run and 3 RBIs. Now we got the Cardinals traveling to Ohio to take on the Reds in Cincinnati. And the Reds win a close one, folks. The Cardinals 2 runs out hit the Reds, 10 hits and no errors. The Reds 3 runs on 9 hits and no errors. Vada Pinson had 2 RBIs. Joey J goes 8 innings. Nice piece of pitching by Joey J. In the last game's the Battle of California. The Dodgers taking on the Giants in San Francisco. And the Giants win a close one, a nail-biter. Juan Marichal goes the distance and blanks the Dodgers. No runs on 4 hits. The Giants 1 run on 7 hits. Sure. See when they scored that winning run. Way back in the second. Sure. Alrighty, we'll take a look at the leaderboard here. And the standings. So you got the Braves still a game and a half up on the Giants. The Reds are 6 games back. The Cardinals are 11 and a half games back. The Cubbies are 14 and a half games back. And the Dodgers are falling like a rock. They're lost 6 in a row and they're 1-9 in their last 10 games. There's trouble out in Hollywood. The Pirates, they're 15 and a half games back. And the poor Phillies are holding up the league 28 games back. Clemente still leading the league with a 360 average and the majors for that matter. Willie's leading the National League with 32 home runs. Cepeda with 98 RBIs. You got Warren Spahn with a 2.46 ERA. Lou Burdette, Joey J, Jim O'Toole all have 14 wins on the year, folks. Don just picked up his 28th save. It wasn't pretty, but he got her done. And you got Cepeda leading in the MVP voting. Frank Robinson's coming on strong. And you got Jim O'Toole leading in the Cy Young votes. I want to thank Ken Castro, Legend Sports Universe, for stopping by here, folks. And I think we got a bunch of double headers here on the 20th. If I remember correctly. I think the Yankees got a double header with the Indians. And the Braves got a double header against the East Phils. Yep. You got Terry going up against Perry. The Terry and Perry show. And then Sheldon against Bell. Ring my bell. And with the Phillies and the Braves, you got Mr. Short going up against Spahn. Buzzhart going up against Willie. So it should be some good games coming up. I like to play all 4 of them tomorrow. Do a doubleheader for the Yankees early, and then a game with the Phillies. What time is it? It's going on 9 o'clock. Old Bernard's supposed to be on here at 10, so go over to Bernard Strom's Sports Replay channel, folks. He's going to have a 1914 Phillies game. Check that out. Until next time, folks, if you're new to the channel, hit that subscribe button. Hit that bell, and on your way out of Milwaukee, hit that like button and leave a comment. Alrighty, like I say, y'all have a great evening. Until next time, y'all take care.